Ever feel like you're talking at your AI instead of, with it?
Yeah.
Like there's some secret handshake to get what you really want?
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way.
Well, today we're trying to crack that code. We're diving deep into prompt engineering.
Right.
Think of it like turning your AI from a sort of helpful puppy that sometimes gets it wrong
Yeah.
into a really laser-focused assistant or even a creative partner.
That's a good way to put it.
And you, our listeners, you shared some great stuff, including Google's brand new guide. It's pretty hefty,
Yeah.
and we're here to make sense of it all.
Exactly. So prompt engineering, what is it really? At its core, it's the art and science of telling these AI models what to do effectively.
Art and science, I like that.
Yeah. We've gone through that Google Doc, looked at some other articles, even checked out some Reddit discussions.
Ah, the Reddit hive mind.
Indeed. And the goal today is really just to pull out the key strategies, the things that will help you get better, more predictable results,
Yeah.
move beyond just guesswork.
And that's exactly what this deep dive is for you, the learner.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you use AI every day or you're just kind of curious, we want to give you practical stuff, things you can use like right away.
Yeah, actionable insights.
Exactly. No confusing jargon, just those moments where it clicks, that aha moment.
Right.
We're going to explore how just thinking a bit more, putting a little structure into your prompts, those text inputs can actually lead to surprisingly powerful results.
It really can.
Okay, so let's break it down. First, principles thinking.
Right.
When we talk about that, we're basically stripping away all the complex layers, looking at the absolute fundamentals.
The core truth.
With AI, it really boils down to input the prompt and output the AI's response. Simple as that, fundamentally.
Yeah, that's the basic loop.
So prompt engineering is just understanding and mastering that relationship, that input-output connection.
It's not magic.
No. It's not hoping the AI reads your mind. It's about understanding how it processes language and structuring your requests so it can understand and act effectively.
It's like explaining a recipe very, very clearly. You assume the person can cook, but they need exact steps, exact ingredients.
That's a great analogy, yeah. Focusing on that core mechanism, the prompt triggers the AI's knowledge.
And if you master the prompt, you're directly influencing that trigger. You get a much more targeted, more useful response.
Exactly. Okay, think about Aladdin, the movie.
Okay, the genie.
Right. If Aladdin just says, I wish for lots of money.
Yeah.
Super vague prompt. Right.
Very vague. Could mean anything.
He might end up buried in pennies. Yeah. But if he applies first principles, thinks, what kind of riches? Where do I want them? How should I get them?
Being specific.
Then he's way more likely to get a wish that actually, helps him out.
Makes sense.
Prompt engineering is about bringing that same focus, that intention, that clarity to talking with AI.
I like that. It demystifies it a bit.
Now, here's where it gets, I think, really interesting. Once you get that input-output thing,
okay,
critical thinking comes in. Big time.
How so?
Well, just because the AI gives you an answer doesn't mean it's the best answer. Or the most accurate, or even useful for you.
Right. It's still a tool. It can be wrong or misguided.
Exactly. So prompt engineering helps you think critically through the AI. You guide its reasoning process to get to better conclusions.
Okay, so it's not just getting an answer, it's shaping how the AI gets there. You become less passive, more of an active shaper.
Yes. You're not just receiving info, you're guiding the thought process. So the answer is, hopefully, more reliable and relevant to what you actually need.
That's a crucial shift in perspective. So how do we actually do that? How do we influence how it thinks?
Well, think Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, the detective.
He doesn't just see a footprint and say, case closed.
Right, definitely not.
He uses deduction, reasoning. He considers multiple possibilities. He even prompts Watson, asking questions to explore different angles.
Okay, I see the connection.
It's similar with these advanced prompting techniques Google talks about. Things like chain of thought or tree of thought.
Right. Those encourage the AI to show its work.
Exactly. Show the reasoning, step by step. Then you can look at that process and evaluate it critically, not just the final answer.
That makes a huge difference for complex problems.
And this really underscores Google's point. Prompting is engineering, not guessing.
That's a key quote from their guide, isn't it?
It is. Good prompts aren't just luck. They have structure. There's a reason why they work.
So it reframes it. It's not a black box. It's a system that responds, predictably perhaps, to well-designed instructions.
Predictably is the goal, yeah. Understanding that predictability helps you get consistent results.
Okay.
And when we talk about well-designed instructions, Google really hammers home being specific and using strong verbs.
Mm-hmm. Be specific about the output. Design simple.
Yeah. Use verbs that clearly state the action. Think about, tell me about electric cars. That's pretty vague.
Very open-ended. You could get anything back.
Versus, compare the range, charging time, and price of the Tesla Model 3 and the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Put it in a table.
Much clearer. The AI knows exactly what structure and information you want. Less room for it to wander off.
Right. Those strong verbs compare, analyze, summarize, create. They give a clear signal.
And related to that, there's the idea of using instructions over constraints.
Explain that a bit.
Well, instead of just saying what not to do, like don't include opinions, it's often better to tell it specifically what to do. So maybe write an objective summary focusing only on the main facts and arguments.
I see. Positive framing. Guide it towards the goal, don't just fence off the errors.
Exactly. It can be more direct, more efficient. It's a subtle shift, but quite powerful.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then there's examples. Few-shot prompting.
Oh, yeah, this one's huge.
Just giving the AI a couple of examples of what you want, it seems to make a massive difference.
It really does. For tone, for format, for the kind of logic you want it to follow.
Like showing someone a sample essay. Here, make it look like this.
Precisely. The examples are like a shortcut. They show nuanced things that are hard to just describe in words. It gets a tangible model to copy.
And Google had a smart tip there too, right?
Hmm.
About classification tasks.
Yeah, don't always show the examples in the same order, or the AI might learn the wrong pattern, like thinking category A always comes before category B. Mix it up.
Good practical advice.
Yeah.
Okay, so that helps with clarity. What about like really complex stuff? Deeper reasoning.
Right, well, that's where techniques like chain of thought and step-back prompting come in. Google calls them table stakes for complex reasoning.
Table stakes? Okay, high importance then.
Yeah. Chain of thought is basically asking the AI to show its work, break the problem down into steps, think it through sequentially.
Like solving a math problem on paper.
Exactly. And step-back prompting is interesting. It encourages the AI to first consider like general principles or high-level ideas before tackling the specific question.
So zoom out before zooming in.
Kind of, yeah, like a detective thinking about general motives before looking at specific clues helps establish a foundation.
Got it. Both sound like ways to scaffold the AI's thinking process, make it more robust.
They really are. Essential for problems where the answer isn't just a simple lookup.
And then you mentioned tree of thought. That sounds even more complex.
It is a bit. It lets the AI explore multiple reasoning paths at the same time, like generating several different plans or hypotheses.
And then evaluating which one looks best.
Exactly. Really useful for tricky problem solving, where there might be several ways forward.
Okay. And react. That sounded like AI using tools.
Yeah, REACT stands for Reason and Act. It combines the AI's internal reasoning with the ability to use external tools.
Like searching the web or running code.
So it can actually go out, find current information, or perform calculations, then integrate that back into its reasoning. Google calls them baby agents.
Baby agents. Okay, that's kind of cool. And
Yeah.
potentially very powerful for research tasks.
Definitely. It makes the AI much more dynamic, less reliant only on its training data.
Google also talked about structure, didn't they? System, role, context.
That's about structuring the prompt itself. The system part sets the overall rules or persona.
Like, you are a helpful assistant.
Right. Then role is more specific. Act as a historian specializing in, or act as a Python programmer.
Okay.
And context is the specific info for this task. The article to summarize, the data to analyze.
So separating those gives you more control.
Much finer grained control, yeah. Over its behavior, its tone, the information it focuses on. It's like giving an actor the script, the character notes, and the setting info separately.
It makes prompts more modular too, I guess. Easier to reuse.
Absolutely. Swap out the context or the role without redoing the whole thing. Very efficient. Some articles compared it to like clinical decision pathways, systematic, consistent.
Right. Okay. For the real tweakers out there, sampling controls.
Yeah.
Temperature, top K, top P.
Yeah. So these models, large language models, they're stochastic, meaning there's randomness involved.
They don't always give the exact same answer twice.
Correct. These controls let you influence that randomness. Temperature is a big one. Lower temperature, more focused, predictable, maybe kind of boring output.
Higher temperature.
More creative, more varied, potentially unexpected or even nonsensical output.
So you dial it depending on whether you want, say, a reliable summary versus brainstorming wild ideas.
Exactly. And using temperature, top K and top P together gives you even finer control. It's about finding the right balance for your needs.
Makes sense. And JSON prompting. That sounds technical.
It's about asking the AI to give its output in JSON format, which is just a standard way computers structure data.
Why do that?
It makes the output much more reliable and way easier for other programs to understand and use. Great for automation, feeding the AI's output into another tool.
Okay. For system integration and prompt variables.
Just using placeholders in your prompt. So instead of writing summarize this article text, you write summarize this article. Then you can easily insert different articles without rewriting the whole instruction.
Efficiency again. Good for repetitive tasks.
Definitely.
And finally, this. APE, Automatic Prompt Engineering.
Yeah, that's pretty meta. Using the AI itself to help you write better prompts for the AI.
Whoa. Okay, so the AI helps you figure out how to talk to it better.
Basically, yes. It shows how fast this field is moving. AI helping optimize its own interaction.
Okay, wow. That is a lot of techniques. So bringing it back to the learner, our listener, how does all this actually help them day to day? It sounds a bit overwhelming.
Well, look, all these techniques, they're tools in a toolkit. You don't need to master all of them at once.
Right.
But understanding the principles, being specific, giving examples, guiding the reasoning that makes your interactions less frustrating, more efficient, more insightful.
You get closer to what you actually wanted in the first place. Fewer rounds of trial and error.
Exactly. You get the info you need, how you need it. Those aha moments become more frequent. And like some sources mentioned, in fields like medicine, getting the prompt right isn't just nice to have. It could become a compliance issue. Getting reliable, accurate output is critical.
So it empowers you. It moves you from just kind of hoping for a good result
to actively engineering it. You're collaborating with the AI, guiding its process.
Right. So wrapping up, what's the big picture here? This deep dive. It shows that getting good stuff from AI isn't luck. It's strategy, right?
Absolutely. It's about being clear, specific, using examples, knowing these different techniques exist. You shift from being passive to being an active engineer of insights.
And for the learner, you don't need to become an expert overnight.
Not at all. Just start incorporating some of these ideas. Try being more specific. Try giving an example next time. See what happens.
You've got this toolkit now. Experiment. Extract better info, handle ambiguity, maybe even steer the AI's thinking a bit. Okay, prediction time. Looking ahead, here's a bold one. In just a few years, prompt literacy, knowing how to talk to AI. It won't be niche, it'll be fundamental. Like knowing how to use a search engine or write a clear email is today.
That's a strong prediction, but I think you might be right. It feels like it's heading that way.
People who get good at prompting, they'll unlock huge advantages. Efficiency, creativity, understanding. In a world that's just getting more and more AI-powered.
Yeah, it really democratizes access to this power. If you can articulate your need well, you can leverage incredibly sophisticated technology.
So final thought for everyone listening. Think about the last time you used an AI. What was your prompt? Like exactly what did you type? Now, knowing what we've discussed, how could you have phrased it differently? Could a clearer instruction, an example, asking it to think step by step, could that have unlocked something deeper, something more useful?
That's a great reflective question. The power often lies right there in how you ask.
It really does. This Google Guide, this whole field, it's changing fast. So we definitely encourage you, check out the guide if you can. Try these techniques, keep exploring.
Yeah, experiment. See what works for you. What are your biggest challenges? What tricks have you found?
We'd love to hear about it. Keep learning.